Hi there, business owner. Are you looking to improve your business knowledge? Do you want to see behind the scenes of successful businesses? And more importantly, are you looking to build a better business in just 15 minutes each week? If so, you're in the right place. Welcome to the 3Bs podcast. Hello and welcome back to the 3Bs podcast. As always, I'm your host, Stephanie. And this week we are heading into week 2 of our Financial Foundations mini-series. So if you haven't yet listened to last week, episode 54, I would encourage you to go back and listen to that one first before you listen to this one, although this will also work as a standalone episode if you haven't listened to week 1. Financial Foundations is a mini-series where in 4 short weeks we want to set the foundations of your business so that you can scale with ease and clarity. If you already own a business, now is the best time to go back to those roots and just reset those financial foundations, because as we grow and scale, our businesses naturally evolve, and sometimes we need to go back to the beginning to make sure that we are really working from those firm foundations. Week 2 is understanding the importance of bookkeeping. Now, I know what you're thinking. Stephanie, you are a bookkeeper and accountant by trade. Why are you telling us how important it is to do your bookkeeping? Whether you DIY your bookkeeping yourself, whether you have somebody employed in your business that does the bookkeeping, or you outsource to an agency, understanding why bookkeeping is so important is crucial in setting those firm foundations for sound financial management of your business. But bookkeeping is so much more than just keeping a track of your receipts. And a lot of people think it's simply data entry, and it's so much more than that. It is the backbone of your business's financial health. Without bookkeeping correctly, you're going to end up with so many problems in your business, which could ultimately lead to its closure. Entrepreneur James Ashford once said that one of his previous businesses failed purely because he didn't know his numbers. He didn't understand the bookkeeping. He didn't understand the financial health of the business, which ultimately led to its closure and its failure, and he had to start again from scratch. And he then went on to invest heavily in the bookkeeping function of his next business, which he then sold to one of the biggest bookkeeping and accountancy software providers in the world. If you have a business and you haven't had your eye on the ball with your bookkeeping and you've let it drop, don't worry, it is recoverable, but get some expert help in if you need it, or learn to do it yourself. There's so many courses out there to get yourself or somebody in your business trained as a bookkeeper. But start now if you haven't already done so, and I cannot stress that enough. On with the episode. Bookkeeping is so much more than just keeping track of receipts. It really is the backbone of your business's financial health. It is essential for business stability because once it lays the groundwork, you can make better informed decisions and enable growth with much more ease, clarity, and consistency. When I talk about bookkeeping, I mean everything from reconciling the bank statements, which simply means making sure that all the data on your bookkeeping and accountancy software matches what the bank statements say, ensuring that each transaction is recorded correctly within the accounts, including transfers between accounts, VAT returns if you're VAT registered, applying manual journals at month and year end for available tax allowances and reliefs that you can claim. Period end works can be monthly, quarterly, or annually. Bookkeeping also can be reporting. It can be issuing sales invoices, processing purchase invoices, amongst many other things. But what bookkeepers can also do is provide management reports, payroll, self-assessment tax returns, and even annual accounts and corporation tax, depending on their qualifications and licensing. More importantly, they can offer you advice, and their knowledge and expertise working with not only you but multiple clients enables them to be really up to date with the latest regulations and changes to help you build a better business. Think of businesses that are huge like Tesco or Google. They'll have a CFO, a chief financial officer, someone that oversees all the bookkeeping and accountancy within there and reports that back to the business owner. A lot of bookkeepers can often provide that same service to you as a smaller business to help you grow with the same level of information and enable you to make more informed decisions as those bigger businesses. Bookkeeping is one thing, but accurate bookkeeping is absolutely paramount. Your business's financial records need to accurately reflect everything that's happening in the business. After all, once you've got that data, you can use that data going forward, knowing exactly what position your business is in. And as this mini-series is all about setting firm foundations, having that accurate bookkeeping and a procedure in place to ensure it is kept up to date and is accurate going forwards gives you that firm foundation for growth. As you can probably guess, I could go on and on about the benefits of having bookkeeping in your business and having it accurate and up to date. But UK business owners have that challenge navigating financial regulations and tax requirements. As I've talked about previously, depending on where you are based in the UK, the tax rules are different. And if you're on the border of, say, England and Scotland, you may have staff living in one country and you operating from another, which again, if you're running a payroll, would lead to having knowledge of both tax laws, which is where an outsourced bookkeeper comes in really handy. Bookkeepers also will enable you to maximize tax deductions and allowances, enable you to minimize your tax liabilities and only pay the tax you truly need to pay. Accurate bookkeeping also can streamline financial audits and due diligence processes. If you're building your business to sell, which a lot of business owners do, having that clear link between your bookkeeping throughout the entire time the business is trading will mean that when the due diligence and the checks are made on your business before a sale, things are clear and easy. Also, the HMRC can request to look at your books at any point, and having that streamlined financial process in place means that any VAT investigation or tax investigations would run incredibly smoothly. Not having your bookkeeping up to date and accurate would cause a lot of stress for business owners, and that is why a lot of them come to me when they're already stressed, because they've reached that point without that clear procedure in place, without clear understanding of their deadlines, of their obligations as a business owner and sometimes as an employer. It wouldn't be an episode of the 3Bs podcast without me leaving you with a top tip or actionable step for you to take away and really start implementing into your business straight away. There are many different ways of bookkeeping, but one thing you need to be aware of is that the UK's Making Tax Digital scheme is being rolled out post-delay in 2026. Now that means that anyone who has a business that turns over £30,000 or more will have to keep digital records and submit them quarterly rather than the annual tax return or annual accounts that you currently submit. Whilst the full details of this scheme have not been fully released by the HMRC, getting into using cloud-based software now, which is what you will need to send your returns to the HMRC, will make things much easier once it becomes mandatory for you to use Making Tax Digital approved software. There is a range of bookkeeping softwares out there. My preferred software is Xero. It's something we've always used, but I'm also QuickBooks Pro Advisor certified. If you bank with Metal, which is part of NatWest, you get Free Agent for free, which is a great software for smaller businesses. And there's many others out there in the industry that may suit you and your business more specifically. I would urge you to find a cloud-based solution, because a cloud-based solution not only gives you access to your financial data from anywhere, it means you can collaborate with your team in real time and even automate repetitive tasks such as invoicing and expense tracking. If you then outsource your bookkeeping to a bookkeeper or an accountancy practice, they can also access it from where they are, and you can harness the power of technology to streamline your processes and gain better visibility overall into your business's financial health. So, are you ready to take control of your bookkeeping if you're not already? I want to provide you with some practical tips for maintaining accurate bookkeeping records, from organising your financial documents to establishing a consistent recording system and reconciling accounts regularly. Organising financial documents and maintaining a systematic filing system is so important for efficiency within your business. Just like I recommend a cloud-based solution for your bookkeeping and accountancy software, I also recommend a cloud-based system for your financial records. Gone are the days where we kept our T accounts in a book in our office, locked in a filing cabinet. There are things like OneDrive Dropbox, even some accounting softwares have storage functions available. Look for something you are already paying for. I would not recommend paying for an extra solution because it's likely if you have a Microsoft license or a Google license, you've probably already got those features available. You're just not utilizing them. I keep my records in a simple number system. So each client has a number, and then in each folder, we have subfolders detailing the different services. And we go down that way. We have one for the details, one for the AML ID documentation, and things along those lines. Also, establish a consistent recording system. Items can be put somewhere in the accounting system under so many different headers. For example, if you are purchasing Xero bookkeeping software, you could put that in your direct business costs because you couldn't run your bookkeeping without it. But it could also then be put under software costs or general expenses or subscriptions. So depending where you choose to put it in your business, it makes the most sense for you. You need to consistently put those expenses that recur all the time, every month, under the same category, so that when you pull your reports off periodically or at your end of year, it is clear which expenses are falling under which category. Because we often then look back, if you go back to last week's episode and look at your budgets, if you're spending X amount on software and you're putting everything into there, then you know that that's what you've actually spent. If you're then putting 1 month under something else, it's not going to give you a true reflection to enable you to budget and make better financial decisions. Also, you need to reconcile your bank accounts and credit card statements regularly, weekly if possible, monthly at the very least, ensuring that they're accurate, because we have bank feed functionality on so many of these cloud-based accounting solutions. That means you connect your bank account, business bank accounts, up to your software, and every evening it will draw down the previous day's transactions so you can reconcile them directly into your accounting software. But technology sometimes fails, sometimes things go wrong, that's just life. So by reconciling regularly, you can ensure that no transactions have been duplicated or missed in that syncing period. And that brings us to the end of another episode of the 3Bs podcast. Thank you so much for listening. That wraps up today's episode on the importance of bookkeeping. I hope you found these insights valuable, empowering, and useful as you strive to build a better business. Join us next week as we continue with this mini series of financial foundations and strategies to support your entrepreneurial journey. Until then, remember to stay organized, stay informed, and keep striving for success. I'll see you next week. Oh, and don't forget that we now have our very own social media channels, so come and follow us over on Instagram and X or Twitter, or join the mailing list to hear the latest news updates and when the next episode goes live. You can also follow us, rate and review wherever you are listening to this. That really helps me get this podcast out to more business owners so we can all build better businesses. See you on the next episode. And that brings us to the end of another episode of the 3Bs podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Please connect with us on social media, like, rate and review wherever you are listening to this podcast so that I can help more business owners build a better business. See you next week.